on. Come on.
Oh hi, I didn't see you there. I hope you're all having a fantastic day, and in today's video I'll walk you through how I went from V8 all the way to V15 with the 3 sessions that I usually do. Before we can get into the sessions, there's one thing that I always do, the no hang protocol. Since the video about the protocol has around 1 million views by now, I'm just going to assume that most of you know what it's about, at least the full extent of it, so I'll keep it very brief. I would do very low intensity hangs, so about 30 to 40% of my max effort. And then I would do this every single day, 2 times per day, and saw some insane results from it without it actually taking anything from my other training. It only takes about 10 minutes and it makes my fingers feel healthy and strong. So it's something that's well worth putting those 10 minutes into every single day. This protocol is the only thing I regret not doing earlier, and once per day is enough to see great benefits for me. At times I fall out of doing this, but we all do our best, and that's something that I think is good to stay consistent with. Now regarding this protocol, I have some very exciting news. I will actually be doing some research on it together with Keith Barr, the author of the research paper the protocol was actually based off of. We'll be doing this together with Crimpd, who is also the sponsor of this video. Now this protocol is already in the Crimpd app, as well as the exercises and the workouts I'll present in this video. You can download the app for free, and if you log one of the workouts, they're under My Playlist. There's an email section there, and if you log one of them before November 15th, you have a chance to win a one-on-one online coaching session with me, as well as Crimpd Plus for Life, which is the premium version of the app. Crimpd Plus gives you the ability to create your own sessions and your own training plans, as well as access to their skill templates, which is kind of like custom-made workout schedules made by experts. So it gives you a training block of a couple of weeks to help you maximize your gains, basically, like help you recover as much as you need to and make sure that you're not overtraining or undertraining, you could say. So yeah, Crimpd is awesome. We're gonna do a lot of fun stuff together, and you should get the app. I can fully recommend it to everyone. But let's start with the sessions. My favorite session of all of these has to be this one, the max projecting session. The goal of this is to learn how to perform new and quite highly demanding moves. We do this to perfect our climbing as much as possible and start off the session with recruiting our fingers through a one-arm finger training routine. I usually do this by performing max hangs, which means I'll do around 10-second hangs on one arm and on roughly a 20mm edge. I'd recommend pushing your arm against the wall for shoulder stability to do this. A few months ago, I unfortunately injured my wrist and hand, and currently I'm a lot weaker on that than the right arm, which means that hanging for 10 seconds is a complete no-go. So what I do instead, and you can do as well, is to use a pulley system to help offload the left arm, or the weaker one that can't hang. I would say this is the way to go for most people, as hanging off of one arm for 10 seconds is very, very hard. And it's totally fine to do. It's definitely an approach most people should take. But there is another option that I would probably recommend to people more, which is to do something called edge lifts. You do 10-second lifts here instead by loading a pin with a bunch of weight and then lifting a 20mm edge. The thing to focus on with this is to not overdo it, so make sure you rather take a little bit less than a little bit more, because we will be punching out a bunch of climbing on top of this, so make sure you're not completely fatigued when the session, or like when the climbing actually starts. You work your way up and you do 6 sets of either of these. Yeah, then we're good to start climbing. We're fired up in our forearms. When we've completed this, we move over to the spray wall or the kilter board and start climbing on actual boulders. These can be set by somebody else or by yourself, as long as they are challenging for you. You should feel it's a realistic goal to do this climb within 20 minutes or so. But if you don't, that's totally fine. You just move on to another and save the climb that you didn't do in 20 minutes for a later date. I often do this on the kilter board as it pushes my bigger weaknesses as a climber, but really feel free to do it on any board. But now let's take a look at an example of when I do this. Okay, so for the hard bouldering session, we'll be doing stuff that's like hard for us, but we should be able to do it within a few goes or 20 minutes of projecting. So I have something right here that I'm gonna try that hopefully is quite fun. It's a good effort, quite awkward, and I didn't climb it really well, but we'll try it like a few more times with a bit of rest, and then yeah, continue like this on the session. Okay, kind of a jug up there. I really suck at these like high feet, so this is a good boulder for me to practice on. I think I'll try that move once again and like really commit to holding the final hold. I thought it would be more of a crimp, but it's actually really good. So yeah, finish up that move and then try to do the boulder. Close, but no cigar. Next go. Yeah, buddy. Nej! Nej! Success! No, but that's one part of this series. Well, we're gonna just film a bunch of scenes, so like this isn't actually a proper session. It's like every single session mixed into one video. But if I were to continue this, I would do a few more boulders and continue this for 4 in total, or at least until like the session is over, which is in more than 20 minutes. So, but yeah, it's fun to do a climb. Definitely, I think this is one of my favorite workouts, and the thing that helps me progress the absolute most are these hard projecting sessions, figuring out the details that makes this like weird dynamic move at the end work, and yeah, working through climbs in this way. And lastly, like having friends supporting you definitely doesn't hurt either. But yeah, time for some campus bouldering.
Kom igen.
My power sessions start off with one of my absolute favorite strength exercises, the campus latches. I do this by jumping to an edge and immediately engage my arm. I'll do 3 reps on each arm for 3 sets. I rest a bit between each arm for around 30 seconds. That way you can kind of maximize your power output and make sure you're not fatigued in the left arm from just trying hard on the right arm. If it's too hard to do with one arm, which it is for a lot of people, I would recommend moving down to the smallest size that you can jump to and do it on 2 arms instead. So if you can jump with 2 arms on a 15mm edge, go for that. 20mm, do that. 25, that's fine as well. The point is that you're supposed to quickly fire. We do this to train coordination and contact strength and rapid fire. So we want to get those like twitching muscles going. The purpose is that it mimics a lot of the climbing moves we see out there, and it's probably the most climbing related strength exercise you'll find in the gym. And after we've done those, we move over to the most underrated climbing exercise there is, campus bouldering. I've recommended in the past to do this on boulders in the gym, which is totally fine, but at this level I would say that it's best performed on a spray wall, so that's where we'll do it now. Okay, so at this level, when you're climbing above V8s, I think it's good to start campusing a bit on crimps, and oftentimes before that you're on jogs and you're kind of learning the motion of it. Now we're going to learn the strength aspect of it. So I do a lot of my campus on either like pretty bad crimps or pretty bad pinches. Occasionally on slopers, that's more for coordination, but it happens because I think it's fun. But right now I was going to figure out, like, find a boulder with just pure finger power and climb something campus like that for the first boulder of this round. Yeah. Okay, so that's one boulder done, a bunch more to go. I would repeat this one a few times and then continue on to the next. But you know, that's not too much fun to watch 100 times, so we'll just move over to the last session in this protocol, the volume session. Before we can do that, we have to finish off the power session. What I usually do is a couple of weighted pull-ups, 3 reps at 90% of my max, and then resting for a couple of minutes, repeating for a couple of sets. It's all in the Crimpd app, you can find it there. But what I will add is that I have often done a bunch of gym training involved here as well, so I'll do snatches or something similar, but it's not something that I would recommend for climbing training because it's more to build a healthy body than anything else. So if you want to incorporate it, you can do that on your own, but I won't be recommending any specific exercises in this video. Anyways, last session is the volume session. The volume session is short and simple and acts as my technique training session. It's not that I'm intentionally training technique, but I climb boulders a fair bit below my limit. The climbs are at a level where I feel comfortable I should flash them, unless I somehow miss a hold or slip or something. Therefore, I can focus on a lot of details such as how I move my hips, how I place my feet, and those type of things. I'll do around an hour of continuous climbing, resting for about 2 minutes after a boulder. In total, there'll be around 20 boulders in this session for me, and then I'm done. I'll cycle these 3 sessions around, putting the volume session in on days where I'm feeling a little bit extra tired and I won't be able to try hard on the other 2 sessions. And as you saw earlier, trying hard is one of the fundamentals in my training. It's quite important and it helps my power output quite a bit. Anyways, that concludes the sessions that I did going from V8 to V15. There's of course a lot more complex nuance to this, and one of the big major stepping stones I did was to eat more and fuel my body, which I've talked about in a previous video. Regardless, these sessions are and have been the fundamentals for my training over the past couple of years, and I hope they gave you a little something. If you want to try out the workouts for yourself, they'll be in the Crimpd app, which you can download for free. Alright, that concludes this series. I hope you enjoyed these 3 episodes on training for climbing, and I'll see you in a later video. Peace, my homies.